Hello, this is Greenhat-Redbeard Adventures. This video is a little bit overdue, but as I say, it's better late than never. I did make a promise a long time ago. I'm not sure if that video of me making that promise still exists or not, but I did make a promise some time ago that I was going to do this video, and I will admit to it. I've been putting it off and forgetting about it, but now it seems like it's a now or never, so let's get to it. This video is going to be about my hatchet, and this is the Gransfors Bruk Wildlife Hatchet. I've had this hatchet since around, I'd like to say, 2018, give or take. Definitely somewhere around that range. I've used this on hikes, day hikes, campouts, the whole 9 yards. I've actually used this far more than I've did any of my other axes that I have. I do have the Gransfors Bruk Small Forest Axe, and this has often been considered to be the little brother to the Small Forest Axe. It's got very similarities in the size of the head. It's very similar, aside from the difference, of course, the length and size of the handle, but the head is very similar. The head on the Small Forest Axe is just a little bit bigger, a little bit more weight, but very similar in weight. So all in all, as I said, I've done this all the time. It is an awesome hatchet. I love this thing to death. I've done everything with it, as small chopping, splitting wood, preparing firewood, and even been able to choke up on it and use the blade to make some small feather sticks. It's nice and fine, sharp edge on there, which I'm going to show you in a second. So you can do every little thing on here. Of course, the hatchets are meant for one-handed use, while the Small Forest Axe is meant for two-handed use, but it's still small enough to be able to use one-handed. Excuse me. So first and foremost, as I'm sure you guys are noticing, this sheath comes with the hatchet, just like most, if not all, axes from Gransfors Bruk, and that's the official logo right there. The leather sheath comes with the hatchet. This leather guard here does not. I know that they make some of these, but I've always been told it's better to make your own, so that way it fits on there nice and perfectly, as opposed to just a universal one where it may or may not fit, or maybe it's not going to fit snugly enough. I don't know, but I made my own all the same, saved myself those couple of bucks. And so obviously, as you can see close up, there's a little bit of wear and tear on that leather. But as I said, it's better to have the wear and tear on the leather guard rather than on the wood itself, right? I always try to take care of my tools as much as I can. Try to keep them as clean as I can, sharp as I can. So a lot of people have often told me, it's like, you say you've been using it for years? How is it so clean then, huh? I take that as a compliment. Thanks for noticing how clean it is. So let's take that off. The sheath itself is very well made, very well constructed, and as you can see, it's still all in one piece. You can see a little bit of wear going on there, and not much else there. There's no stitching on it. It's all just these rivets and such, and they're all still in very good condition. The button is also very good condition as well. So, but as you know, we're not here for the sheath. We're here for the axe. So as you can see, there's a little bit of wear and tear going on there. Nothing serious, but still some wear. On this side, you can see the dirtiness of it as well, but still relatively clean. The blade, the axe head is about 1 pound in weight. The cutting surface is 3 inches long. And the handle on this is 13.5 inches long. I got it written down right here so I can remember it all. And that comes with a nice little lanyard hole in here as well. The end of the handle is obviously, it grows out bigger, so that way if your hand goes to slip, it's not going to slip out of your hand much. I've never had a situation of where I'm chopping and it accidentally slips out of my hand. I've never had that kind of situation before. I had a lanyard made on here a long time ago. I ended up taking it off. I found it to be rather annoying, but that's my own personal decision. Overall, I've been using, as I said before, I've used this for just about everything, and it can definitely choke up on the handle. and use it like for some fine wood shaving. And I've done this before. I don't do it very often, but it can do this, where you can actually use the back end here with a ferro rod and just strike it with a ferro rod, and it will actually strike some sparks. I don't do it very often. It's just my choice not to do it. I just use my ferro rod with my knife or with a striking piece that it comes with, either way, but I don't generally use my axe head for that. Nice little feature of this is that it does come with a booklet. Now, sorry, before I get into the booklet, I should probably point this out. You're going to see the stamp here. It's the official logo stamp for Gransfors Bruk, but you're also going to see these two letters here. These letters here are actually the initials of the person who actually physically made this. So this is not just, running through a machine and the machine makes it for them. These axe heads are actually physically handmade by somebody, and they stamp their initials in it, so that way you can see who it is. And the booklet that it comes with, the booklet, when you open it up, it shows, a picture of your axe or hatchet, whatever it is. It'll point out all the key features, tell you all the key terms and such. But you flip through the book, find those initials, and it'll show you a picture of the person and a little bit of a biography of that person who actually physically made the axe head. And I always thought that was always just a really cool thing, a little cool feature that they included in there. That way you get to actually see who it was who made your axe heads. So it's not just some random person in a factory or anything. These are all like hardcore professionals. They all know exactly what they're doing, and it shows in that booklet who they are and what they're all about. That's something I just really like about it. So, of course, obviously, just like any other hatchet or axe, you got to give it a little bit of love and maintenance. When I first got it, razor sharp. Love that. I've sharpened it up a couple of times over the years with a good sharpening stone. Which sharpening stone you want to use, entirely your decision. For the handle, putting some nice wood oil onto it isn't always a good idea. When I first got my hatchet, the person I got it from, they recommended this oil. This is a Badger wood oil. This is what I've been using on my hatchet. I'll talk about that in a second. So you take a clean rag, drizzle some of that oil in the rag, just smear it right on there, get it nice and wet, and then give it about 24 hours before it's dry enough to touch. Now it's clean, it's dry enough to touch, but if you intend to use it, I recommend you give it about 2 or 3 days for it to sink in and dry. It's just better that way, so it's not, so you don't get that little bit of greasy residue on your fingers or anything. This oil here penetrates deeply, cleans up with soapy and water, and the great thing about it is also food safe. So for those of you who like to do wood carving and making spoons like I do, or other utensils, you can use this on those utensils. Again, give it a couple of days, and it'll be food safe, so it won't poison you or anyone else for that matter. This is a 100% all-natural hemp seed oil. There's no harsh fumes, so you can apply this to your handle indoors, although I don't recommend it. It's still better to do it outdoors, but there's not going to be any harsh fumes or anything, or nasty smell or anything like that. But I do notice that after the handle is done, and you feel it for the first time, it definitely feels like you got a nice brand new life just put into the handle. You can definitely feel the difference. So overall, in the years that I've been using this, I would score this out of 10. Definitely a solid 10 out of 10 for me. Like I said, I've used this so much for splitting so much wood, for fire preparation in my wood stoves, or even just fire making in general. And I've used this out on simple day hikes, camp outs, the whole 9 yards. And it's just really nice to have around with me. And I also have a little belt holster for it as well. And that's great to carry around. It doesn't even weigh down my pants at all. So overall, like I said, I'm definitely give this a 10 out of 10. And if you go online and check out some of the reviews, I'm sure the reviews will definitely agree with me on that one. So this is Greenhat-Redbeard Adventures. This is the Gransfors Bruk Wildlife Hatchet. Stay safe and have fun.